What's good, y'all? It's your boy Danza. Just one of the many faces of the machine known as the Danza Project. Please do me a favor if you rock with us. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn those notifications on. We appreciate you. Salute. For those of you that don't know me, and for some of you that do know me, I always been a huge Nipsey Hussle fan. So everything surrounded around this whole thing with with LA culture in general, and just learning from that. Being somebody from New York, you know what I mean, and being able to have a conversation with you. And for those of you that don't know, this is OG. This is the OG right here, Cowboy. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
So. We seen a lot of shit going on in the past few hours and a few days, right? That's been extremely viral as of late, and we'll get into that. But first and foremost, the one thing I want to know as a fan is, how did you beat Nip? Where did that all come from? Because people that are watching right now, obviously you answered this shit a million times, but for the people that are watching right now, they never, you know what I mean? This is something new for them.
Yes, sir. But like when I first met Nip, like I said, I came home from prison and it was in '03. I think I was just in the hood chilling and he had like walked by and I asked the homies like, man, who is that little youngster? They was like, oh man, that's E. He a rapper. You know what I mean? So I seen him again walking through the hood and I'm like, hey man, where you from? He was like, man, I don't bang. I was like, bro, you look like you bang. I like, man, some enemies roll over here. You look like you bang to me. And I sat back and I talked to the homies. I said, man, that little watch in a couple years, that grow up, watch. And I just started talking to him every night. I came home from prison. I always had the little stress weed, so they wanted to smoke, get in the studio. So I just started getting equipment and stuff for him. We just linked up, and every night in the studio, we be making music and shit. Then during the day, he would sell CDs. So he gave me a shitload of CDs. And I was like, man, I didn't know what to do with the CDs. But everybody that jumped in my car wanted to buy one. So I started selling them up. So we was out there every day grinding. Like Slauson and Crenshaw, that was our office. Right here, he shot his first video right here on this porch
Fire.
This right here, we shot our first video when he was in my video. He ain't got no hair on his face, no hair, no beard, none of that. He was like 18, 19. He was young when he was in my video right here on this porch. One of his first videos. If you look at, if you ever seen any of my rap videos, so I came about like right before YouTube started popping. So we put a few little videos out. But if you look at all my videos, then you look at all Nip videos, he did a video in every spot that I did all my videos from the gate. He followed the same lap that we had previously did. So every video was, he followed the blueprint. So that right now I'm following his blueprint. You remember me? I took it to a certain level. The hood, I took it to one level. Then he came and took it to the next level. Now we trying to get it even more. You know what I mean? It was just tragic because we lost bro. You know what I mean? We lost bro, and here it is 6 years. He's still in the mix. His name, he's still in the mix. He's still talking, still trying to figure out shit. Because we lost a great person. We didn't lose, and nobody talk about shitty cuz ain't shit. You feel me? We still talking about Nip. We talking about somebody that's great. You know what I mean? So, Nip was in the guy, so Nip served his purpose on earth. That's what keep me going. Cause I know when I seen him in his casket, and he had that smile like job well done, like did that. You know what I mean? It wasn't that keep me going. That smirk he had on his face when I looked at him in his casket, like yeah, job well done, son. You did that. So I've been to a whole bunch of funerals, and I don't know where all those people went. You know what I mean? Even though they may have been my friend, but you know what I mean, I don't know if they up or down. You know what I mean? I don't know where they went, but I know Nip is up there. Job well done. So
Yeah. Nip's definitely one of them legends. You know what I mean? And you're a legend yourself. And one thing I wanted to know on top of that is, how did you come up, or how did they come up with the name OG Cowboy? How did that come about?
That's just the internet, So basically, when I was in prison, you know, we be on the yard. It might be like 110 degrees out on the yard, and we out there working out. So when you're on the yard crew, they let you wear a little straw hat. So when I started getting a straw hat, and I shape it like a cowboy hat, and I'd be out there working out every day. So I had shade every day. So I started wearing the cowboy hat. So when I came home from prison, then I went back to prison. I had another cowboy hat on. I kept on doing it. So when I came home, I bought that hat, and I started wearing my cowboy hat, and it reminded me where I came from. So it kept me out of trouble. You know what I mean? Normally when I ain't got my hat on, I mean, I'll be on some shit. I'm on my bullshit. When I got my hat
Yeah.
on, that keep me in check. Like, you up, you know where you going. You know what I mean? So that hat is a constant reminder of prison, where I came from. But the name Cowboy came about when Nip passed. The world and the media came and asked who I was. At that time, I didn't want to be no gang, nothing to do with no gang, because Nip didn't stand for the gang. You know what I mean? We were trying to change the gang. So I was like, you know, I let them know I'm Cowboy, because Cowboy is not no gangbanger. Cowboy is trying to change the gangbangers. You know what I mean? I got other names that's hood names. You know what I mean? But Cowboy is about change. You know what I mean? So that's why I gave the world. I gave the world Cowboy. Then I got a big homie named Big Cowboy that rested in peace a long time ago, and his legacy never kept going. So I said I'm gonna take on Lil Cowboy, because I was tight with one of his homies in prison. So yeah, I just took on that legacy though. So I'm a little cowboy, not OG big cowboy and all that shit. I'm cowboy.
Yeah.
But when you hear cowboy, I'm respected by Bloods, Crips. I'm respected by Hoovers. I'm respected by all of them because they know what I stand for.
Now the Crip, claiming Crip, this happened prior to ever meeting Nip, correct?
Yeah. You know, I grew up in the Crip neighborhood or whatever, and we wore blue. We did what we did, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? But I'm that OG Crip cowboy. No, I'm cowboy. I'm not an OG Crip cowboy. I'm cowboy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not my title, but yes, sir.
Now, for the people that don't know you and all the influences and all the stories that came about, right? What did Nipsey mean to you?
You know what? When he passed, it was like losing a dad and a son. Cause he started off like a little brother. He started off like a little brother to me, like, you know what I mean? Then as I was up and he was elevating, he would come lace me up like, hey bro, you need to get your shit together. You need to da-da-da. And I'd be like, I'm supposed to be telling you this shit. You acting like the big homie. Like I'm your big homie. But he would lace me, you know. Like I say, hey Nip, let me hold some bread. I'm staying in the hotel right now. Nip would say, okay. So what you gonna do tomorrow though? You gonna call me again? Or he said, you know what can I do for you so we won't have this problem no more? I said, look, pay for my room tonight and give me some CDs. And I'm good. I never asked him for a nickel ever again in life. Never asked him. I stuck with them CDs and I made money and I kept grinding. You know, then I started doing t-shirts, you know, chicken and waffles. Now I'm farming. You know, I stay, you know, Nip always said he admired me because I always stay active. I always stay reinventing myself. I always stay, you know, you can't tell me I can't do it. I'm gonna do it. You know, so I'm a true marathon runner. You know what I mean? I'm a true marathon runner. So I've been doing this shit when Snoop Dogg was fighting his murder trial. I was in the courtroom with Snoop Dogg fighting the murder trial, doing that shit, protesting since then. You know, so when I met Nip, that was like my little young Snoop. You know what I mean? And we laced him up. He was a soldier. He was solid.
Now I remember a viral moment a couple years back when Nipsey's mural was vandalized, and you pretty much called the community to stand up. A short while after that, there was a gentleman gunned down that was claimed to be the guy that did that. What are your thoughts on that going down?
Well, it was totally separate. Like when I addressed the issue, it may have been like 3 or 4 weeks prior. It was something prior. So it really wasn't. It really wasn't for that or whatever it may be because of what I had said. You know what I mean? It was they put it in there like I had said it right then. That was some shit that I woke up the morning like, man, what the f is this? I know this is a joke. You know, I'm on my live, like, oh, man, I know this is some bullshit. And, you know, if you look at the whole thing, I was like, man, I know my real from Inglewood don't feel like this. Nah, I knew this got to be some bullshit. This is set up. You know what I mean? Then the world took him. And I think I was locked up. I was in jail or something at the time. But at the same token, yeah, that was unfortunate. You know, I hate to see any of our black men die. Bloods, Crips. I don't care where you from. You know, if you about that change, you know, we've been killing each other for years and ain't nobody winning. Nobody winning the war. You know what I mean? And now his generations later, this generation, so we beyond the color. I wear red now. I see Bloods wearing blue. So we done got over the color line. So now how can we be friends again? How can we learn how to say, hey, not where you from, but like, hey, how you doing, black man? What you do for a living? Not where you from. What you do for a living? How can we network? See, it's a lot of networking that we can't do because I stay over there. Like it was we had to go somewhere today. My girl like, yeah, we got to go where? I'm like, damn, we going over in the Wooty Wops? So I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be like that. I should be able to go over there anywhere I want to go. You know what I mean? We shouldn't have to think like that. Like, damn, I'm going over because the only thing it's the name of the streets is the only thing. So imagine there wasn't no street names and no names. So you know what I mean? So if it ain't no names on these streets, we just all one big tribe. So basically, I could ride over here down the street. If it wasn't no street name, I wouldn't say I'm in the 60s or the 40s or the 50s. So we affiliated because I say my mama grew up in the 60s. Oh yeah, you from the 60s.
Yeah.
So if I roll up and you say, where you from? You say, oh, man, I don't bang. I say, where you stay at? You say, I stay in Inglewood. Oh yeah, you from Inglewood. You know what I mean? We shouldn't think like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got to learn how to greet each other, you know, and we was raised, you can't do business with friends and family. So who is left? Who you gonna do business with then? If you can't do business with friends and family.
Yeah.
And that's what we was taught. Don't do business with friends and family. You know what I mean? That was always the saying. You know, so we got to just learn how to get along as a people, though. You know, it took me going to prison. You know, when you grow up in the hood, you learn to dislike other hoods that your big homies got into it with. So when I went to prison, I seen, oh, damn, them Hoovers, them was cool, them was solid. They was there for me when it was going down. Oh, that blood, when I was hungry, he gave me a suit. That was big to me. You know what I mean? So when I came home from prison, I had a different look on Bloods and Crips and all these different hoods. So then I laced Nip on that shit. Like, Nip, it ain't about that. Stick with that music. Do your music. This hood shit. That hood shit. You know, so we changed it. The hood is different. A lot of in the hood done changed since Nip. A lot of people changed since Nip, you know, so he did a lot. He was motivational to everybody. He definitely motivated me, and to this day, I got to keep it going for bro.
I was gonna ask you that because when he passed, right, that the what do you call it? I forget the word for it when you know he was riding through the city. Um, what is that called? What's the word called? The whatever post death when they had the casket driving through the city. You know what I'm saying? And he was able to go through all the neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
The turnout was crazy. It was more like some ridiculous parade, damn near. The size of the crowd was crazy, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that helped unify people and create a change in the mindset?
Yeah, definitely. That was big. That was huge. We went all the way to Watts. Came, circled all the way around, came to the hood, slid all the way to the hood, came all the way down to Angeles, down Crenshaw. Got down on Crenshaw, did what we had to do. Everybody did what they did. Man, I was so depressed and shit. I'm walking down Crenshaw in the middle of the street. I'm walking. Mind you, the whole Nip funeral, the whole day, I jumped in the car with Killer Twine and a couple other Bloods, and we was riding around with the caravan from we burnt the brakes out this Mercedes Benz. There wasn't no brakes left in there. I mean, the whole caravanning through the whole city. it was just one point in time. Like I walked up to Big Boy and Lauren London in the Rolls Royce. I was walking. We was all walking, and they had the casket and stuff. And they hit the window, and Lauren was like, Nip had love for you. Nip loved you, and that touched me right there when his woman, let me know that bro had love for me. You know what I mean? Even though it wasn't no doubt in my mind, but that brought tears to me right there, though. Because I felt sad for the family. I felt sad for Dad. I felt sad for his brother. I felt sad for Granny. I felt sad for everybody everybody that was close to him. I felt a lot of hurt for them. That I know it hurt me. It tore me apart. So I know the family. It was really rough for them. I couldn't imagine that. You know what I mean? That's unimaginable to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the most pivotal moments that we've seen and we've known, especially from that industry. We haven't seen too many situations like that. Now, I also know that you carry on that mindset of making change. Right? There was an instance a while back again where there was a kid that was like false cripping. You know what I mean? And you had a conversation with him and tried to pull him out of that. So is this something that you do often?
All the time. That's just like probably one of a million times that you caught it on camera, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because normally the business that I do, I don't put on camera. But if you do something stupid, I'm gonna whip out that camera on your ass and put you on blast, though. You know what I mean? But a lot of stuff, I'll just check you right then and just go from there. Like you can listen to me. Like I had a little young, they was in high school or whatever. They was smoking bud on the side of one of our businesses. I told him, man, you can't do that. He like, nigga, I do what I want. I was like, man, do your daddy let you do that? He like, yeah. So well, call your daddy up. Call his daddy, pull up. Daddy like, hey, Cowboy. I said, look, in front of your son, look, if I catch your son over here smoking some bud, I'm going to beat his ass. In front of your daddy, let you know, if I catch him over here smoking some bud, I'm going to hop the gate. I'm going to beat his ass. Simple as that. You know what I mean? So whatever you allow him to do, that's cool. Do that at home. But if I see him over here on this side of the gate, smoking, being disrespectful, I'm going to beat his ass. Just let you know, Pops. I left it at that. You know what I mean? So just, nothing disrespectful, but, you know what I mean? I like to let his daddy know if I catch him being disrespectful, I'm going to get in his ass. Simple as that. Because my big homies, I had to work hard to fuck my life up. I had to work hard to be a fuck up. You know what I mean? We had to work hard to go outside to fuck up. You know what I mean? So, I'm trying to do something better. We had uncles and shit that told us, no, I don't do that shit. So, this shit right now, it ain't cool. A lot of this social media is getting washed up. They trying to get fame off of this shit, and they getting washed up because they bumping their gums. And social media, it's a platform for you to express yourself, but certain shit you need to just keep to yourself.
Facts. And let's get into that. A lot of shit it just went down today. Do you have a relationship with Big U, or what's your relationship like with Big U?
That's Unc to a lot of regardless of what social media say about him, Unc was always he was like an uncle, everybody called him Unc, like they say Uncle Snoop, but not Unc. Big U was the original Unc. He was always good to me though. You know what I mean? I can't really say nothing bad about him. He was always cool. Suge Knight was cool. You know what I mean? Certain if you push them the wrong way, they get in your ass. That is what it is. I'm a cool you say something stupid, you know what I mean? So, you a cool so I get disrespectful, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So everybody got their ways. But Big, you always been Unc, you know what I mean? Anytime I needed something, he always came through for me.
Yeah. Now, one of the things again look, I'm New Yorker through and through, right? But now I live in South Florida, but there's always been like a little confusion, especially since I ain't from there. So I don't even be pretending that I know, LA politics. I try to stay away from getting too involved and pretending unless I hear it from the source himself. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Wack does a lot of shit on the internet, and he tried to paint Nipsey's death and put it on Big U. When you hear things like that, what do you think?
You know, shit like that. When I hear that, only because I had talked to Unc and we had talking, I know I seen the hurt. I know the hurt that was in it. You know what I mean? It's hard to rush the
Yeah,
bullshit. I felt the hurt in him. He truly had love for Nip. You know what I mean? They even did business up until his passing or whatever. They didn't have no ill words. As far as I know, at his passing or whatever. But I know bro had hurt. You know what I mean? So, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even. I didn't lose no sleep over that whatsoever. You know what I mean? That was,
yeah,
and me. I was looking. I wish I had somebody I could say. I looked at every angle. The only motive I could see is that Cuz was high. That's for sure. They put up the fact that he was stupid high off of some crystal. May have been up too many days. His broad took a picture with Nimp. They made it when had an argument. And he did something stupid, but that's the only thing that I could go. I looked at every angle and I wish I could say, oh, it was this person or this person done that. But
yeah.
I analyzed it every which way I could, you know what I mean? And yeah, he wasn't a suspect on my list.
Now take us back to that day, right? Like you were there at the store that day.
Yes, sir.
Take us back to the day and what went on, and from your point of view or what you saw.
I'm saying it was just a regular day. We just had a regular day. You never know when Nip was gonna pull up. Nip just pulled up. You know what I mean? He was out there just doing like me, sweeping the parking lot or folding some t-shirts, helping the customer. Just whatever normal day. It was like a Sunday. If I ain't mistaken, I may have been maybe the only male there. I'm not sure if there was any other male working that day. It may have been like 2 or 3 females maybe working in the front and maybe a couple males in the barber shop. You know what I mean? It wasn't nobody there on a Sunday. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So it was just like a light day, just tourists and fans. And then pulled up, taking pictures. Like the tape show it all. You know what I mean? It's just a normal day. Like that day, I was like, man, you finally made it. I was like, we did the DJ Cali Billy. You finally made it, bro. I said, everything that I told you was gonna do, you did it. You did that shit, bro. I damn near had tears that day. I was like, bro, you did it. Because when he
yeah,
finally did the DJ Khaled video, man, I went over to the video shoot. I was like, man, this song is hard. Like I said, the best song you ever did. This mother tight. Because he know I'll be on my Bible shit, so he know. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, this is tight right here. Then to be a part of the video and all that was cool. Like I said, I was like, bro, you finally made it, bro. Because his lyrics, everything, the whole swag, because he came in, bust him upside the head with, the crazy off of Sloss with that on that crisscross beat. Then flipped the script on him. By the time Victory Lap came, that was a whole
mm-hmm.
nother beast right there. When that Victory Lap came, I got all the discs. I got every last disc. But when it come to Victory Lap, hands down, his best shit. You know.
Facts. Yeah, Victory Lab was one of them ones.
Yeah, and he got
And he
somebody. He
really
probably got
he.
a lot of other shit that's coming out too, because he had a lot of shit. He had one with Future. I don't know if y'all heard that one yet. He had a few of them that I was sitting in there vibing with him. Then y'all check Cobby Supreme. Cobby had some tight ass hits too. There's a few niggas in the camp that still got some heat. So be on the lookout. The marathon, they still doing this shit. Yeah,
So
but it's been a rough.
when you were at the store and it went down, you saw it all happen like right on the spot.
No, I never seen what happened. I was in the back eating. So when I was here, I never
Yeah,
seen what happened. So even if you look at everybody saying whatever I testified to, but whatever I testified to, the conversation, that was before a crime was even committed. It wasn't no crime committed before when they was talking. A crime had been committed. When I went to the back and did whatever, a crime was committed, which I didn't see. I didn't visually see it. If I could, I wish I could have saw Cuz shooting Nimp, because then I could have ran straight to him. So when I come out, Nimp on the ground. So that I run straight to Nimp. You see, when you come out, you run out the back and you look, bam. You see everybody laid out, sprawling and running and shit. But I see Nimp on the ground, so I run to Nimp. If I see the shooter, me, I know I ain't got no more bullets. I'm gonna go run after they got the gun. You know what I mean? So I wish I could have been in the window or some shit. I wish I could have been that. I could have ran over there. Ain't no way I would have got to kick my bro, any of that shit. You gotta
yeah,
realize I'm 3 stores away. See, when you walk in the marathon, you go through one door. Then you go around the cash register, there's another door. Then you go through the break room door. So now I'm sitting there, you hear wow, 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 you hear some gunshots, jump up, I gotta run through this door, that door, the front door, and I still was the first nigga in them. After coming out the break room. So figure out where the break room at, 3 rooms away. So I'm literally, because all the stores connect. I can go from this store to the Marathon store, damn near to the barbershop. You know, like 3, 4 stores connect.
Yeah.
You know,
so damn, that shit had to be tough. You at that moment, like you weren't worried about getting shot up. You just ran out and it was what it was. You weren't worried. You didn't know if somebody was still there. How did that feel like?
No,
like in that moment.
I just seen Nip on the ground. I just ran the Nip. You know, he had a bullet like right here on the a bullet hole right here on the side. So I put a hand right there, then right here by his stomach on the side, like on the side, not by your rib cage, but right there by your stomach. It was another hole right there. So I had my hand right there holding that when I was praying for him. I'm just praying to God. Like,
and there was no words.
No, he was still breathing the whole time, all the way till he got up in the ambulance. Though he was still breathing. They can't put the thing on him, but he was breathing. But you can see he kept trying to get up. He kept trying to get up, and he was still he was still breathing though. You know, he was fighting. He could tell he was fighting. He was fighting. Wasn't no blood coming out of his mouth. So I was like, normally somebody gets shot and that blood come out the mouth. He'd be like, damn, it's like all that's clogged up, but it wasn't no blood. It wasn't a lot of blood at all. So it could have just been internal or whatever. I don't know, but it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a whole lot of blood at all.
You feel like the judgment that was handed down was enough? Were you satisfied with it?
I was the judgment didn't matter. I didn't care about that. I'm just waiting on the real judgment. I'm just waiting on the real deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What up, Jay? Look, we on the block. Look, real.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah, I see him. Yeah. So you just waiting on that real actual justice. Now I know he got fucked up a couple times that they showed on on social media and shit like that. But yeah, I could imagine that would be the only thing I would really care about, losing somebody that I care about. You feel me?
Yeah. I never cared about how much time he got. And my thing was, I just wanted to go look him in the eye to eye and ask him why he did it, nigga. Why? You know what I mean? That was my whole thing. I didn't give how much time. You look at the transcripts, I got all the paperwork. You got the transcripts. You know, you see me over there like, now I just want to know why. You know, I had a chance to look that nigga in the eye. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get up to look that nigga in the eye and possibly get my hands on that nigga. You know what I mean? But yeah. But I got my justice because I was able to look that nigga in the eye, and I know that they're like 2 dogs looking at each other. And you got to look down. I ain't break mine. I think I'm on that nigga, but I wish I could have got my hands on that nigga. You know, but I couldn't, my grandma, you know, I went to court and I was going to fuck him up that day. Like, they let me if they call me up there, I'm going to get to this clown. You know what I mean? My grandma said, man, don't let that boy throw away your life. You know, he did what he did to Nip. Don't let him throw your life away too. You know?
Yeah.
And that stuck in my mind. Like, you know what, grandma, you right. You know what I mean? He going to get his day when he get it. But, you know, he didn't give Nip no fair one or nothing. So, you know, the longer he lived in that little box, the longer he suffered though. You know, you want your freedom gone, it's fucked up. Your freedom gone. Now you ain't high. Now you sobered up. Like, damn, I done fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, so he truly fucked up. Now he's sober, realizing like, damn, I truly ain't going home. Or when I come out the cell, it's gonna be an issue. So
we had a guest up here that comes up here pretty often. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Goes by the name of Charleston White. Yeah, he made some comments. You know, him and I actually even had a back and forth about Nip, right? Because I'm such a huge fan of Nip. Because you made comments about the things that he said. He separates. He says, you know, Ermias. This is how he words. He says Ermias was a legend, and Nipsey kind of drowned him out because people looked at Nipsey and didn't get to see who he truly was and what he really represented, because the rapper image did up. As time went on, you know, because obviously I know your opinion, and I want you to share your opinion. But as time has passed, have you changed your opinion on any of the things he said, or do you still feel the same?
Oh no, I don't fuck with nothing he say. You know what I mean? I don't fuck with none of that nigga's bullshit. You know that. far as I'm concerned, he just, he just, for whatever little hick spot he from or whatever he grew up doing or whatever, he making some bread and he happy. He happy to be just like clickbait. He got something to say about everything. You know what I mean? I only can give my opinion on shit I've been through or shit like that. I don't got to give my opinion on everything that's going on every day in social media. You know what I mean? That's your opinion. Cool. Okay, that's your opinion. All right. You know what I mean? But the way you put it out there disrespectfully, certain niggas like me don't go for that shit. I don't care what type of mace or whatever you got, nigga. You know what I mean? I'm an on-site nigga. On-site, it is what it is. So, I done took off on niggas and got beat up many a time. You know what I mean? I ain't saying I'm the best at it, but one thing for sure, I'm gonna get off. So, so it is what it is. So if you bumping your gums on the internet and you run across a real Nip fan and the nigga victory slap you, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Victory slap. I was going to
Yeah.
mention that. That was one of the greatest moments that I
Yeah,
can remember.
yeah.
I think for me that's the one moment that's iller than the Will Smith slap. You know what I mean? Because man, he smacked the
Definitely
shit
equal.
out of old
It
boy.
was definitely equal.
Yeah,
Definitely.
he smacked the shit out of that
That
boy.
was our Oscars. That was our shit. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
But so the other day, right? Let's get to this. The other day there was a moment. I caught a video. On the video, it looks like, from my perspective, it looks like Luce was trying to go inside. Right? You had a little spat with Luce Cannon. Looks like he was trying to get inside, but you were in there. You were ready for whatever.
Yeah.
And there's clearly a guy that's screaming that I hear that's saying, "Yo, don't do this. Not here. My kid is here. My kid is here. My kid is here." Then there's the next video I seen, and the next video was saying that you took off, you ran, and the guy, he asked the dude, and the dude said, "Well, I don't know if he left because of the baby." He's like, "No, that's not why he left." What went down?
Okay. Either way it go, I would call. You can call old boy and talk to him about it. But what y'all seen, I filmed that after I boo bopped him. I grabbed my camera out and filmed Cuz running in the store. That's my footage. That's on my phone right here. That's my footage of me filming it after I gave a nigga a 2-piece. So number one, nigga, I was under the car. I didn't have my cowboy hat on. I didn't have my cowboy hat on. I'm under the car, and I'm helping the nigga with his flat tire. So the nigga get out the car. I laugh. I said, "Man, that nigga look like Luce Cannon." I laugh. Old boy from Oakland said, "Yeah, he do." He said, "Hey, ain't you Luce Cannon?" And Luce Cannon turned around like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh." I jumped up. I said, "Oh." And I say, "What up, hood?" And I put the fingers out there. He reached to give me the fingers. Bing, boom, bing. Hit the nigga with the 3-piece. He ducked. He trying to get he trying to get somewhere. I come over the top of the Oakland nigga. Bing, bing, bing. So by then I done grabbed my camera and down. I done went in my pocket, grabbed my camera, and I'm filming this dude getting somewhere. Then went and unhitched the car, took the car off of the hitch, parked my hitch, walked back up on bro, said, "Yeah, nigga, I need that." Nigga, he still had on his little slippers. He still had his little slippers on. He went to his car, mind you. I'm pulling out of the get out. I go across the street, pull over and stop. Mind you, he never put the shoes on. He had them in his hand. After you done got booped by Binks, number one, if I get bopped or whatever, and I got on shower shoes or whatever I got on, we getting cracking right then on the spot. How did I boop bop your ass, unhitch the trailer, tell you, "Nigga, do you know me? Take my phone number here. Get your phone. Take my number. I gave Cuz my phone number. Take my number. Nigga, if you a real homie or real whatever you claim to be, call me and don't get on the internet talking about me, period." Then I got my shit and left.
Mm.
Then he went online and got to talking. I didn't even post nothing. I still ain't went on my live and post nothing. I took that little clip and sent it to the homie in Atlanta. And the rest just went from there. You know what I mean? So
So
what
yeah,
y'all saying was after a 2-piece in the biscuit.
Yeah, it's a two-piece of biscuit.
Yeah. Lucky wifey was right. Lucky wifey was holding nigga right. Nigga, lucky I couldn't bend my knees down. I had on a hoodie. I had on the Thunderdome hoodie, and I had on a leather jacket because it was cold. Nigga, lucky I couldn't get loose. Yeah, all right.
So obviously now all that shit goes on. Immediately today, you see everything that happens.
Wow.
I don't know if it was last night or today they got picked up.
Man, out of all the gas stations in the world, I said, God done delivered one of my enemies to me. Ooh, nigga. Man, it was like I was in the desert and a nigga pulled up with a steak, nigga. I was on that ass, nigga. Like, ooh. But but what's so crazy, I sat back and I looked at that. I looked at the little interview and I read the little papers and shit, all that they had. And I'm like, this dumbass nigga is mainly where all that shit rooted from. You know what I mean? A lot of niggas is in trouble because these niggas is loose lips saying what they saying. Nigga, he's saying he was a goon. You know when he first came, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that. So by you saying that, you implement other motherfuckers. So you know what I mean? So by you running
and they
around,
used it. I'm not sure if you've seen any of the paperwork, but they definitely used the interviews.
That's gonna be the stem of it, though. That's gonna be the stem of it. That's what started it. Like nigga, if I go around telling everybody I'm your goon, then nigga, and I do something, then nigga, they come to get your ass. I'm running around saying I'm your goon. You know what I mean? So that's how shit get started. These niggas want to get famous, and nigga, YouTube ain't paying like that. Nigga, you ain't Shannon Sharp, nigga. You ain't getting it like that. Stop it. Stop it. You know
These
what I
people
mean?
be swearing that YouTube be paying the crazy.
Yeah, I fuck with YouTube. My shit been monetized. Man, I be on my farm doing shit, man. I ain't trying to create content. I admire niggas that can do this shit every day. Nigga, that shit work. Nigga, I ain't got time to be on YouTube all day talking. Nigga, I got work to do.
Facts.
So, yeah, that's just real shit.
Now, for me, again, I'm trying to piece it all together, right? But from a source, not just from somewhere. I feel like in this day and age, there's too many motherfuckers that talk about shit that really don't know about shit, but they always know about shit somehow in their own mind. I hate talking to people like that because it's like, bro, you don't know shit that goes on. You got a story from a story from a story. You don't ever speak to any of the sources, and you just believe whatever the fuck you believe, and they be convinced too because they did enough research on the internet. With their own bullshit, they be convinced they figure this shit out. With the Rolling 60s, right? I would figure that everybody's cool off rip. So did you ever have a relationship with Bricc Baby and Luce Cannon prior to all this shit?
I never knew never one of them clowns. They like I said, they worked hard to be on the internet to prove from this shit. So let's see how this shit hold it. Yeah, y'all was on the internet, letting the whole world know you want to be from this shit around here. So all right, see how that work out for you. I'm on the internet trying to change this shit. You know what I mean? So if you on the internet, condoning the dumb shit, then that's what you get. That is what it is. If you're on the internet, you should be speaking positive. You should be speaking about change. You shouldn't be speaking on shit that don't have no limitations.
Yeah, word.
I'm just saying, what the fuck is you on there? Letting the world, any nigga that gotta tell you how hard they is ain't hard. Most niggas that know how to fight, we the coolest niggas on earth. Nigga, we on trip, we the cool, calmest niggas on earth. You know what I mean? Niggas that know how to fight, they real cool. You know what I mean?
Facts, yeah.
These busters trying to prove, how tough they are. That tough shit is, it's always somebody tougher than you. You know what I mean? All that tough shit out. What's up, boy?
Yo, again, if y'all are watching, make sure you double tap the screen, hit the like button. Hit the like button if you're catching this after. And we're definitely gonna get Cowboy to see. The thing is right now, he's out there. We wanted to get the story, we wanted to have the conversation, but I'm gonna definitely fly him out so we could sit down and have the conversation and stew. And I'm gonna definitely need you to bring the fit too. You know what I mean? You need to have the hat on.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what? It was so crazy. They was trying to go grab me a hat before we did our thing. You had called me on the road. I've been moving. I brought the Jaguar down here. Got this XJ Jag down here because I stay on the grind, man. So I was down here moving this Jag down here. I had slid that to one of the homies for like 4 racks. You know what I mean? Just hooked him on up. Now niggas want here. And that Benz, I got the S550 right there. I just sold that today too. Yeah, it's a wrap. Yeah, that's 4,000 too. Yeah. Yeah, S550. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get that bread.
All the Maybach grill, the black and white interior. Yeah. Yeah, now I be on the grind, nigga. I'm a marathon runner. I'm a hustler. I do what I do. You know what I mean? The internet paint pictures of people and they really don't know the characters, you know. So I look at the internet different because, you know, I know the characters that they talking about. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
could look at all the fake shit. You know, I look at events or shit that I was there and I was doing, you know, and I look at the fake shit. So the internet, you know, you could be all you want to be, you know. So 90% of that shit I don't even tap into, you know.
yeah, word. Yeah, a
Nigga,
lot of this
the
shit is
nigga send
fake,
it to
man.
me
A
in the
lot of this
text
shit is
and
fake.
shit. I don't scroll in. Somebody had to send me a text. And I be like, man, what's this bullshit? Somebody done sent me and it be some bullshit. Last week, somebody was like, man, that nigga Luce got your name in his mouth. I was like, bro, I ain't about to get on the internet and address that nigga. I don't even know that nigga. I feel like a buster addressing some nigga that I can't never find. And just lo and behold, 2 days later, that nigga pulled up in that gas station. Oh, yes. You know, but and he ain't say right when I pulled off. He didn't say who pulled up.
Mm.
Yeah, well, yeah. Talk to the. I'm give you the Oakland nigga number and let you talk to him. Let him tell you the real. You know what I mean? So,
Word, yeah. Now you've been, you know, obviously we just had the Marathon Burger spot open up. Have you been there yet?
no, I ain't been there yet. I was trying to pull up on the horse. Nigga, I was gonna pull up on my horse again, go
Oh
get me a
shit.
burger. Yeah, but I've been on my farm working, so you know, I got some baby chickens and it's hard to lead them motherfuckers. So I'm finally able to get back to the city. You know, I was setting up fences and setting up chicken coops and shit. You know what I mean? So I'm really off grid. Yeah.
What is your relationship like with Karen Civil? I know that she, you know, she was a somebody there for Nip. You know, now she's there with Blacc Sam. My guy Fred Money actually knows her as well. So what's your relationship like with her? Do you still have a
Uh,
relationship?
no real relationship with her. I know she did a hell of a job with Nip though. You know what I mean? So once he tapped in with her, whatever, I seen she did him some justice though. She definitely did her job for sure.
An artist by the name of Spider Loc. He said
Yeah.
you wouldn't be safe if you ever got locked up. You would need to be in protective custody, right? What do you feel about
Well, you know
that
what?
comment?
I go anywhere. You know what I mean? You know, any prison, I'm good. I get prison phone calls every day. I'm good wherever I go. You know what I mean? I'm solid wherever I go. You know what I mean? Anything he talking about, I done been in prison. Everything he talking about. I've been in prison multiple times since the shit that he talking about. You know what I mean? But
Mm,
I know one thing. You're a gangbanger, and I tell you I need that fade, nigga, and you turn it down, nigga. I know I need that. Tell Spider Joke I need that fade though. Yeah, tell him
mm.
that. Yeah, on some internet shit, and we go live. I got the Thunderdome network, nigga. We go get a bag for it. You know what I mean? So any nigga bumping their gums, nigga, I'm a grown man. We take a fade, then see if you feel that same way. You know what I mean? Well, that's with anybody though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
hell
we feel
yeah.
a certain way, let's just get it off our chest. You know what I mean? I was raised to get it off my chest. I wasn't raised to get it on the internet. These niggas are internet beef.
Talk to us about the Thunderdome.
Well, so shit, we that's a part of our culture. You know what I mean? To be around this way, you had to squabble up. You got to squabble somebody. You know what I mean? You ain't a part of this unless you squabble up. So the Thunderdome is a part of our culture. That's what we do. Some of my best friends, we fought. We friends to this day. Some of the best
Mm,
niggas that I fought from around here, we friends to this day, and we got mutual respect for niggas. We don't respect niggas that ain't taking no fade. You know, all that talking on the internet, take a fade, win, lose, or draw, nigga, get up. You cool? Yeah, I'm cool. You got dusted off. All right, I'll be back. Whatever. If you bump your gums, take that fade.
yeah,
I bumped my guns before and got stocked up. You know what I mean? But the next time a nigga bump their guns to me, I stock that nigga up. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That's just how it go. You know what I mean?
yeah. You can't win them all, man. You
You
definitely
can't
can't
win.
win
You
them
can't
all.
win. I ain't no
Yeah,
nigga that say I won them all, but
yeah,
yeah, exactly. Any nigga that say, "Oh yeah, nigga, you ain't never won them all." It's always a nigga tougher
yeah.
than you.
The only people that won them all are the people that are typing bullshit in the comment sections. Those are the only people that beat
Yeah.
everybody up and shot everybody, and you know what I
And
mean,
like I
and
said,
never told.
just with Luce Cannon, like I said, he was talking all that high power shit, but when I jumped up and hit you with the 2-3 piece, bing, 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 you know what I mean? Then all that the bitch came out in you. You trying to get somewhere. Like I said, nigga, lucky wifey was there. Boy, lucky I couldn't get an uppercut on that nigga. Lucky that nigga was in the way. I had to come over the top. I was hitting with haymakers. Like a couple of these haymakers, nigga. Lucky I filmed it because y'all would have got the wrong narrative if I wouldn't have filmed him running into that store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, by the way, for the people sitting in the comment sections, if you want to ask a question, you got to send that super chat. Yeah. But what we gonna say?
Yeah, so either way go, he didn't want no smoke, that's all. That's more of the story, you know what I mean? All the internet shit, that's out the door with me. You got to show me Wack 100 when I caught this bitch ass. Oh man, let me holler at you and all this other shit. Nigga, I got on tennis shoes and shorts, nigga. You know what? I'm at the BET Awards. I'm on one. You know,
Yeah.
nigga break that shit down. Oh man, this is some internet shit. And when I ran across that nigga, that was before I was even fucking with this internet. I hadn't even did an interview yet. You know what I mean? I used to have to call Nip and say, man, who's this nigga? I didn't know who these niggas was. You know what I mean? I didn't keep track. I didn't know what a Wack 100 was. I didn't know who these niggas was until they got to talking about Nip. I didn't know who these niggas was. I never followed no 6ix9ine. I don't know one 6ix9ine record. Not one. You feel me? I didn't purple haired ass nigga. I didn't know who these niggas was. I had Nip, you know what I mean? I didn't listen to nothing but Nip. And to this day, I don't listen to nothing but Nip or me. Who else I'm gonna listen to?
Yeah.
No
Wack 100 is somebody that's super popular for doing all the Let me get a sip of this. Give me 1 second.
It just made. Hold up. I'll give you a couple more hundred. Well, I'm saying he may want his money back because the nigga jumped in today and he did a little stutter. You gotta check it out though. It did a little stutter on that thing today. But like I said, it needs a fluid. No. Like I hope nobody buy it. No, don't trip. Oh, nobody buy it. It's worth 12 racks. I'm not tripping. I'm a 2012.
Yo, double tap that screen, hit that like button. Appreciate you. Hit that share button, all of it. Nah, it's good. Yeah, nah,
I'm on the block.
This beautiful.
Yeah. Both of them open. They should be open.
Shit, I'm over here sipping out some Douce. You know, Wack 100 be doing that shit a lot on the internet. I don't know what your opinions on. I mean, obviously you shared your opinions a little bit about the people talking on the internet. I don't know any of these people, right? So I only could speak on based on what I see, but I try not to talk too much. You know, somebody like him, he gets emotional. He came at me before about some shit some other people were saying about him. But you know, they speak a lot on LA culture and LA things that go on the internet. You feel like you wish that shit would just come to an end? The people that the podcast and people talking about LA culture directly on the internet.
I wish all the podcasters and all the ones that's bumping their gum, I wish they all come to the Thunderdome Network and put on some gloves, you know. So we need an outlet for it. So the Thunderdome in our hood, say I caught you stealing out my house and you was a homie. I'm gonna take you to the Thunderdome and we're gonna squabble up. Boom, bam, bam. We're gonna lock up. Another homie might take a fade with you, whatever. Then you know not to do that. Nigga, I caught you stealing. So it's the outlet. So without an outlet, what's the outlet for all y'all bickering back and forth, acting like bitches on the internet? Nigga, use a bitch. Okay, meet up at the Thunderdome Network and squabble up. You know what I mean? If you're talking, take the fade. If you're talking, that's the outlet. Fuck talking about it, shit lingered, and somebody wind up really getting hurt. Come put on some gloves, take this fade, and get a bag at it. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do something and get it, okay, you cool? Okay, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Y'all done with the beef, and ultimately either hug and squash the beef. So what's the solution? Okay, I feel you a bitch. Okay, well, I'm gonna show you I ain't no bitch. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, you a bitch. Okay, oh yeah, that nigga, you solid. The next time you see that nigga, you gonna be like, okay, that nigga ain't no bitch. Cuz got down with me. You ain't gonna be calling him no bitch no more. You feel me? Like, man, I got the best of that little nigga, but that little nigga, hey man, I don't want to see that nigga again. You feel what I'm saying? You just squabble the best you could, win, lose, or draw. I just squabble some little niggas. I'm like, man, shit, that little now. I like beating up big niggas. The little nigga, I had to chase this little nigga. That nigga was fast. Hit me with body blows. Like, ooh, that nigga hit me in the ribs. I'm a tall, lengthy nigga. Like, oh, look at this nigga. Yeah, you gotta,
Yo, with this indictment that just happened, do you feel like there'll ever be another hood day? Will you be attending?
Well, if that were the case? You know, it definitely be a celebration, but it's like homies that celebrating that the survivors that been through it, that done changed their lives. We not celebrating the bullshit that go with it. We celebrating the change. You know what I mean? So celebrate the change every year. So the years to celebrate the homies that made it. You know what I mean? We made it, you know? And my ultimate goal was like, okay, we've been holding down blocks in the hood for years that nobody owned nothing. You know, we standing in front of apartments and shit holding it down and nobody live there. You know what I mean? That type of shit. So, you know, get out, you know, get out the hood, you know, go buy some shit, get some land, do other things, you know. So a lot of homies opened up stores and did a whole lot of shit at the Nip. So, you know, a lot of niggas did the right thing. If you still doing the wrong thing, that's why they still building jails and shit, because niggas is still fucking up. So, you know, you got choices in life, you know, just do the right thing, you know. You know,
Yeah.
just do the right shit and you good. That's all. You ain't gotta look over your shoulder. You ain't gotta worry about no indictments. You know what I mean? Nigga call you good. Yeah, I know I'm good, cause you know, cause I'm doing the right shit. You doing the right thing. You ain't gotta worry about it. You
Word.
know.
Respect too. Respect. Have you had any conversations with Blacc Sam recently? Is that somebody
Yeah,
you
I think
speak to?
one of the BT Wars we had just chopped it up on the phone for a minute. You know what I mean? We had talked for a hot sec. You know, like I said, Nip was the glue to everything. You know, Nip was my road dog, my little young homie. You know, Sam was my boss, and it's only a few. It's only a few niggas that's really over this way that I would respect their opinions. Like Nip was one of them. Blacc Sam was one of them. Big U was one of them. A couple other homies that I really would respect what they say. You know what I mean? Certain motherfuckers can't tell me nothing, you know, but certain people can tell me stuff. Certain people around here can give me a piece of advice and I will accept it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Blacc Sam was one of them that could give me something positive or tell me something about me that I could respect. You know what I mean? So yeah, so he utmost respect to Blacc.
Yeah. You seen that situation that happened at Marathon Burger?
Yeah. I was on the farm and I was gonna come, but you know, everything work how it work out. Yeah, I saw that shit. Yeah.
So Rockstar popped up and Sam had his opinion saying like, you know,
Yeah.
with everything that occurred, you can't be over here unless you did something to that. Now, what was your thoughts on that entire event and what happened?
I mean, you know, the homie felt how he felt, you know, I'm just a man of less words, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I just get off and quit talking. I don't like all that talking, but you know, the best thing is, you know, if the rock dude or whatever that nigga is feel disrespected or whatever, then just say, you know, I really need that and step up and put some gloves on or whatever, y'all box it out or something, you know. I mean, that's my solution to everything. Take a fade, man. You know what I mean? You know, if they
yeah,
want to, you know, if niggas want to play chess or do like Bricc Baby and have a pillow fight, whatever floats your boat.
yeah. One of the criticisms that came from it that I've been hearing on the internet was um, that Sam was kind of showing the same behavior that got Nip inevitably killed by doing that and then doing that in front of the store with a grand opening. What's your thoughts on
Nah,
hearing people
Nip
making?
never showed that energy. That energy right there. He didn't show. It wasn't nowhere near that energy toward Eric. It wasn't even that energy at all. If it had been anywhere near that energy, I would have escorted that nigga up out of there. You know what I mean? I wish Eric would have showed some type of energy, any kind of energy. Only energy I seen was a high energy and a nigga just rambling at the mouth. You know what I mean? I wish it would
Yeah,
have. I wish Nip would have felt some type of way like this nigga, man, I ought to escort, I ought to collared that nigga up and he probably would have gunned me down in the alley. You know what I mean? But all Nip had is get a word. And that's for sure. When bro around, he already know. Like I said, a couple times we was out there like, bro, we been out here. You know, he know we don't be out there that long like that. You know, it just, I don't know. I just look at it, man. It was just God's time. You know, that's the only way I could look at it. You know what I mean? I couldn't see nothing else other than God just pulled him home. You know, and it was big.
mm,
It was big. You know what I mean? Like I said, look today, we still talking about it. Been 6 years. Still at it now. March pulling up. You know, you know,
yeah,
and all the haters is getting fucked over. You know what I mean? The real niggas is about to step up, and we're gonna do a positive change. That's what I'm on. I don't care where you from, what hood. I don't care if you from Florida, nigga, whatever. You with the business. So we're gonna quit saying where nigga from. You know what I mean? I don't care. You know what I mean? You're a black man or whatever. You ain't got to necessarily be black. You got to be with the cause. You got to be with the peace. You know what I mean? If we got a problem with each other, take that fade and tomorrow go take your kids to school with a black eye. I was bumping my gums. I got it, but instead of the gunplay, you live for another day. That's all. We doing guns down, gloves up. You know what I mean? If you got a gun, if a nigga tell you take a fade and you got to go get a gun, use a buster. You know what I mean? Take that fade and
Yeah.
if you ain't big enough, okay, go get your uncle, but step up and ball your fist up and act like you wanted something. You know, we got to just change our culture and have an outlet. You know, let's have an outlet. You know, if I got an issue with somebody, the outlet ain't a gun. The outlet is let's go put these gloves on and let's get the little bag. And then, you know what, we cool. We're going to leave that shit alone. Let's move forward. You know, we can start networking, you know, so.
Yeah.
Instead of the media, you know, black media, all our media, it stems on smut. You know what I mean? They start
Yeah.
fucking with Diddy because other niggas start digging into Diddy. They start
Yeah.
fucking with everybody else because other niggas start fucking with you. See what I'm saying? So all it takes is some troll to be digging into your life. Next thing you know, the feds is watching your ass. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So you better do the right thing. You better get your life together. You know, they ain't playing. You know,
Thanks.
so
What was your? You kind of got into it, but not fully. What was the final words that you shared with Nip?
the final words just really when I was telling him how proud I was. That day I was telling him how proud I was of him. I was like, man, you finally made it. You know what I mean? I'm proud of you. Then I was telling like, man, everything that I promised. You know, when you're young, you tell a young nigga like, look, nigga, you gonna be hard. You gonna be a rapper, nigga. You gonna do this. You know, you kind of sound like an old nigga. You know, selling the nigga some dreams. So that was the day, like, look, nigga, I told you, like, everything I said you was gonna do, you did it, nigga. You went around the world and you did it better than I thought, nigga. You know, I thought that day I was giving him his flowers right there. That day I gave him his flowers, letting him know, bro, you finally made it, bro. I was so proud of that nigga. Like after the Cali video, because after the Cali video, I see that nigga early in the morning. That nigga riding on the four wheeler with Lauren London. Then the next morning, I see that nigga out there rolling the backwood. I said, nigga, you bored? Nigga, come back here. And I took that nigga to the back and I'm like, look at, I'm folding shirts and I'm showing that nigga, look at all the inventory. That nigga looking at his inventory like, nigga, he's like, damn, how you understand this shit? I'm like, look, here go your smalls, your mediums, your larges, you know, and I'm showing how I'm organizing the whole storeroom. So I went into the fish house and we had a good conversation. We talking about the fish house. I like, nigga, remember we used to sell CDs in front of this motherfucker? Now you own the motherfucker. Nigga, so just that whole little week after the DJ Khaled video, you know, he never rested his whole career. He worked every day, every day.
Mm.
He'd just pop up in town and we would do whatever. He'd be in Atlanta. I'll swoop to Atlanta, catch him on stage. He go to Washington, D.C. I'll just pop up. You know, yeah, he worked every day of his life. He finally, idle time. That's what we always trying to kill, idle time. When he finally
Now
had a little idle time, that bullshit happened.
you mentioned how you wish that Nip would have seen some of that energy from Shitty Cuz. You know, what was there an argument prior, or
No,
was it
no,
just
it wasn't an argument prior. It's like, you know, Nip had seen him and it was like just giving him a heads up. It was more like a friend to friend, like, hey, bro, you know, they got some paperwork, man. You need to go ahead and take care of that. And he left it at that. He said, man, I ain't seen it or read nothing, but hey, you know, he was giving him a heads up, like, you know, hey, you know, watch your back. And Shitty Cuz like, oh, man, these niggas just hating. They just hating. You know what I mean? Went and got his burger, came back and shook our hands. So did he go back and get mad at the bitch? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out to this day. You know what I
yeah?
mean? But it was no energy. You know what I mean? It was man. Like I said, I'm confused to this day. Like it was no energy. That was surprising to me that
Did
even
they
happened.
shake hands, or did he like reject
Just look
shaking his hand or anything?
two feet. Nah, none of that, bro. None of that whatsoever. None of that.
So, last two questions that I got for you is: let's say you had an opportunity to just speak with Shitty Cuz, and that's all you could do. You can't put your hands on him. You can't take his life. You just had an opportunity to share just some simple words with him. What would you say?
Just why? You know why? You know, even at the trial, he could have just been like, "Nigga, I was high and I tripped." Just why? You know, nigga. Hey, you flash and you do something stupid. Everybody done did something stupid. You know what I mean? Just why? Why you do that, bro? You know what I mean? Why? Because it ain't like nigga, I watched you as a little kid. I know your little ass. You was a little kid, nigga. I know your little ass. You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, was it that much hate? Was it that much envy? Like, why would you do that, nigga? Why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nigga, why would you kill bro? Nigga, Cub would have gave you the fade. He would have did whatever. Why would you use that high that you would kill Cuz? That make no sense. Like, nigga, why would you do that? Other than hate, envy. You know what I mean? Like, that's all. That's the only thing I want to know to this day. Like, why, nigga? Like, what the fuck? Why? Why the fuck would you do that, nigga?
Yeah.
That was like the dumbest shit on earth. Like, nigga, why the fuck? All the niggas on earth, nigga, why would a nigga from around here do that dumb shit? You know what I mean? Out of all the respect bro get from every hood, and why would it be some hating ass nigga from right here? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just why. Yeah, that's why. One word.
Right.
It's not one. It's not all the whole question. Just one word. Why, nigga? Yeah.
What if you had an opportunity to just talk to Nip and just, after death, obviously, or if you do talk to him, sometimes when you're just in that space, what do you or what would you say to him with everything that's going on today?
I just tell him I'm proud of him. You did your stuff. Yeah, I'm proud of you. Did your stuff, nigga. You know what I mean? You made your niche on earth. You know what I mean? You made your niche on earth. You was big. You was going down in the history books. Martin Luther King, the greatest. Yeah, he's one of the greatest. Yeah. He's going down in history. Yes, sir. Yeah, just proud.
Eh,
Yeah, I'm proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I said that was the last two, but I got this for you. A lot of the thoughts that I be having and I hear a lot and it goes on a lot in general is most of the world, we tend to forget, right? There's these huge moments that cause change, but over time people forget. Do you feel like people are forgetting what Nipsey meant, or do you feel like his aura is so strong that it's only still just starting?
Yeah, it's still going strong. You know what I mean? Like I said, the true generation that he touched, it's in them. It's already in them. I see him out here when I see him in traffic from every hood. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's in him. He touched them. Yeah. So the ones that got touched by him, that it's a certain generation. Like when you were raised, like I was raised up. Ice Cube. Ice Cube had a lot of music that I liked when I was coming up. You know what I mean? So he touched the generation that they got that in him. You know what I mean? They was at that right age at that right time and they was really in tune to what he had his message. You know what I mean? Depending on that age you was when you was a Nip fan. Then he gained so many new fans that is still tapping in. So yeah. I thought Pac, Pac was like one of the best of our times, And then you see, he died down a little bit, but even to this day, his legacy's still strong. Nip was definitely up there with the Pac, the Biggie. When you come to the legends,
Yeah,
Nip is a part of the legends. We all play basketball, but we ain't all LeBron. We ain't all
yeah,
Shaquille. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So, but we all can shoot a hoop. You know what I mean? So he was one of the legends. He's one of the Jordans. He was one of the Iversons or whatever. He's one of them boys. Yes, sir.
Word. Now, I
Yeah.
don't wish jail. I don't wish jail on no man, right? So I'm gonna say it like this: when Luce Cannon comes back home, would you be interested in throwing a fade with him at the Thunderdome?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Anywhere, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's for sure. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Whack 100, Whack 100. Any of them clowns that got something to say. Yeah. I entertain a fade with any of them that got something to say bad about me or Nip. Other than that, they can talk bad about whoever they want. You got something bad to say about me or Nip? We got issues. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Simple as that. And, other than that, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm out here farming. I'm having fun. You know what I mean? I'm living life. God is good. You know.
So when you know how you be saying like with people you be scrapping and you be cool with them. Could you do something like that with a Whack 100, or is it just like you scrapping and go to fuck your own way and I'm gonna go mine?
Well, if we squabbled up, I can give you a certain respect. We're like, okay, well, you know what? He did show up. He did get down. win, lose, or draw. So it would be some respect, and not to say I'll be calling you every day like I'm your friend or whatever, but I would have some respect enough to see like what up, you know what I mean, what up, Wack or whatever, and I keep going about my way. And then you learned your lesson. Just keep my people's name out your mouth. But then if you do it again, then we got to get out again. You know, we're gonna keep doing it. Every time you open your mouth, I'm gonna have to meet you at the Thunderdome. You know what I mean? Other than that,
Yeah.
keep my name out your mouth. Then we good, especially after that initial squabble. You done said too much now, so now we got to get out. You know what I mean? Too much been
Yeah.
said now, so we got to get out in order to move forward. You know what I mean? So I'm open to move forward. You know what I mean? Open to squabble up and be like, all right. You know what? Okay, he ain't just an internet goofy. Okay, he did pull up and squabble up. Okay, you know, yeah, you
Yeah.
get a point for that. You'll get a point for that for
Thanks.
pulling up. You know, proving that you're not just a internet goofy. Yeah.
Now, I know that when we be having people on the show, like sometimes we catch shit from it, right? Where people will be like, "Oh, they have an opinion on me based on it." Adam 22 runs No Jumper, and he kind of houses everything. Do you fuck with Adam, or like not saying like you're friends or anything, or does he bother you too because he does that?
Well, he been on some weird shit, and he been over there setting them niggas up for failure, and you can see the outcome of all that. You know what I mean? Yeah, he just set that whole little team up for failure. You know what I mean? Then you look at whatever the paperwork, they say confidential A, which I feel that A mean Adam. Then it say confidential CW1, which I feel that's whack 100. But hey, that's my opinion.
Mm,
That's just my
mm,
opinion on the paperwork. So
yeah.
hey.
Well, yo, I appreciate you for tapping in with me. We definitely got to link up and fly you out. You know what I'm saying? Get the show live in person for the people to see. I also appreciate all the supporters that tapped in and watched. Make sure y'all double tap that screen, hit the like button, and we'll definitely be back soon. I'm gonna definitely talk to you in a minute too.
It's all right.
I
I'm bringing the
appreciate you.
tour. I'm bringing the tour bus and the boxing ring. So you know, I at the mobile
Yeah,
boxing ring, so they can squash their face wherever the tour bus pull up. So you know,
fire.
yes, sir. They talk, you take a
Shit.
fade. Thunderdome Network, yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you soon. One.
All right, in a minute.